The aesthetic for this bike is a really stripped down race-inspired build. So there's no headlight or turn signals, no air filters. The exhaust is really stripped down. I didn't want anything on here to make it look like a street bike. You feel more like you're strapped to a motor than a modern bike. There's a lot of feedback from the road. You truly feel like you're a piece of the machine when you're riding this. It's the most fun that I've had on the many bikes that I've owned in the past. Hi, my name's Chad Williams. We are in Costa Mesa, California, in beautiful Southern California, and this is my 1968 CB350. I purchased this bike as a stock CB in 2010. Set off to tear it apart and create my idea of a race-inspired cafe. The build took me about 10 months, and it's been great. The CBs are great bikes. They're super strong. Honda did a good job in the 60s of engineering them, and they're relatively inexpensive to build. So the front end on this bike is similar to one that I did on a previous Triumph, where I wanted to kind of meld the vintage bike with a modern, more aggressive looking front end that had modern safety disc brakes on it for good stopping power. As I knew that this was going to be my main rider, I wanted a little bit more safety, stopping power up front. So what I did is I added a 2008 GSXR 750 front end. This front end stock is a little too long for the CB, so I had to have the shocks taken apart and a lowering kit installed into this and new seals at that time. I call this the Frankenstein front end because you have to do a whole bunch of weird stuff to make this work on this bike. So the first thing you have to do the front end swap on this bike is you have to change out the bearings in the neck tube. You can get those from All Balls Racing, and they make conversion bearings that'll work with basically any front end you want to use. For this particular front end with this bike, I had to have a custom spacer machined for in between the lower triple clamp and the frame. Otherwise, the triple will hit the frame. There's no headlight or turn signals on this bike because I didn't feel that they fit with the aesthetic that I was going for, which this bike was kind of a race-inspired bike, and race bikes don't have headlights, turn signals, or brake lights, so I've just kind of omitted that stuff, and as of yet I have not gotten pulled over or gotten any tickets, thankfully. The only thing this bike does have is a very, very small LED brake light, which is almost unseen on the back of the bike. But I do have it wired up to put a headlight on if I ever decide to add one in the future. So this is an Öhlins steering damper. I added this. We welded one tab onto the frame for it. And the reason that it's necessary if you're doing a front end swap is the offset in the triple trees changes the rake and trail of the front end. So it makes the bike very quick steering. So the damper is some added safety for that, so you don't get wobble. So the exhaust is all stainless, handmade to my specifications by a company here in Costa Mesa called CPR Fabrication. They specialize in exhaust, and I wanted an oval-shaped can slung all the way under the bike, as I think that a lot of exhausts on some bikes kind of take away from the beauty and the lines of the bike. So I kind of wanted the exhaust to be a performance exhaust, but to kind of be unseen. So this is what they made for me. And the motor is just a stock CB350 motor. I built it myself. It's completely stock. We removed the existing cam chain tensioners and put in a modern part, which is called a KA slipper. Takes a little bit of machining in the head, but it remedies the cam chain tensioner problems that are inherent to the CB350s. You switch over to the Mikuni VM30s, and that takes care of the problem of the rubber diaphragms degrading, which is a common problem with the key-in stock carburetors. So these are the Moto Bits VAR rear sets. They're called very adjustable rear sets, which they are. They have a lot of great positions. They're very well made. They're made in England. They can be sourced online. And this moves the foot position back, which makes it a lot more comfortable having the clip-on low bars on. And the rear shocks were handmade by Works Performance in Chatsworth, California. Works Performance makes a lot of the racing shocks for all the vintage racers. These shocks are made for each bike. They're not an on-the-shelf item. They have to get your height, your weight, the bike, any oversized measurements that you want. They're very built specifically for each order, and they're great shocks. So under the tail here, I've got some hidden electrics and a really nice seat pan that CPR fabricated for me. I'll show that to you. So the whole tail section just pops off. And what we have here is a handmade aluminum pan. Right up here is the, underneath my registration and insurance, this is the computer brain for my electronic ignition. This is a Shorei lithium iron battery that only weighs 11 ounces. And then over on the opposite side, we have the regulator rectifier from Rick's Motorsports Electric. So the front wheel is Frankenstein, just like the front end. It's a whole bunch of different parts that you have to put together to make it all work. You start with the hub, which is off of a late model Harley Dyna. We use this because it has the same axle size as the GSXR front end. The hub is mounted to a sun rim, which sun rims are made by Buchanan. The spokes are stainless steel heavy-duty spokes from Buchanan's as well. The rotor is off of a Hayabusa 1300 that we had to put on the mill and put new center new locations for the mounting, as the Hayabusa has a different mounting pattern than the Harley hub. And the caliper is the stock caliper from the GSXR 750. This gas tank here is a Survivor. This is a stock 1968 CB350 gas tank, and this is original paint. This has not been repainted or touched. This is not the original tank to this bike. The one that came with it was pretty beat, but this one right here is pretty cherry. She's a Survivor. So this is the atypical cafe humped fiberglass seat pan that a lot of cafe guys use. I've sourced these locally in Torrance, California, and you know, it's attached by some Zeus fasteners here on the sides, which have tabs on that aluminum pan you saw when I took the seat cowl off. And the actual seat upholstery was done locally here in Costa Mesa at Costa Mesa Upholstery. You know, he did a really nice job. I ordered some closed cell foam online, and I just had him kind of cut it to my specification.